Photo by Sarah Stier, Getty Images. Thus far, life in the Big 12 has been a roller coaster for the Texas Tech basketball team. Currently sitting in a tie for second place at 8-4, Tech is on the rise after wins over West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. Stakes have defined the Red Raiders' run in league play this season. Life was grand in the first half of January as Tech rattled off 4 consecutive wins to begin the conference portion of the schedule. That included the program's first-ever win at West Virginia, a win over current conference leader Kansas State, which has not lost since, and a win in Austin for the first time since 1996, but in a blink the bottom dropped for Chris Beard's team as a 3-game losing streak brought the season's first dose of extended adversity. What was troubling about those 3 games against Iowa State, Baylor and Kansas State was that the Red Raiders seemed to lose the intensity that has come to define the program during Beard's tenure. But a 2-game set at home against Arkansas and TCU helped stop the bleeding. Tech was sluggish in its win over Arkansas but then turned in a truly dominant win against the Frogs on Big Monday. And now, the Raiders are surging, having won 3 straight games by double digits following a humbling loss at Kansas on February 2nd. In the last 3 games, Tech has won by an average of 23.6 points, including a 31-point win over WVU and a 28-point road win over OK State. Want your voice heard? Join the Wreck 'em Red team. Write for us. Certainly, it appears that this team is hitting its stride as the stretch run of conference play begins. Let's take a look at exactly what has happened in the last 3 games to propel the Red Raiders to their best stretch of the season. Page 2. Photo by Michael Reeves, Getty Images. Not known as a prolific three-point shooting team, the Red Raiders have caught fire from a long range in the last 3 games. Hitting 30-69 from behind the arc, Tech has shot 43.7% from deep during its current streak. That is an improvement of 8.5% from the team's season average. And the 10 made threes per game are up from the season average of 6.6. In fact, Tech drilled 9 in the first half alone Wednesday against Oklahoma State. Leading the way has been Matt Mooney. After his 5-5 performance from long range against the Cowboys, he has hit 8 of his last 13 attempts, 61.5%, which is 23.7% better than his season average. Not far behind is Davide Moretti, shooting 43% from three-point range this year. He has hit 6-10 in the last 3 games as he continues to be the team's best threat from outside. Another Red Raider on fire has been Brandon Francis. He's made 6 of 11, 54.5% from deep, which has to feel good after his extended slump in January and early February. What makes this hot streak from the Red Raiders so unexpected is that Jarrett Culver has not been particularly deadly with his 3-point shot in the last 3 games. At one time this season, it felt like he was the only player on the roster capable of hitting an open look from outside, but while he has shot 4-11, 36.6% in the last 3 games, he has not been the driving force behind Tech's uptick in outside shooting. When this team was struggling as a collective from behind the arc, it was painful to watch. During January's 3-game losing streak, Tech went just 16-56, 28.5%, including a woeful 5-23 at Kansas State, resulting in a season-low 45 points. But when an entire team seems to fall into a shooting slump at the same time, it stands to reason that the individual shooters on the roster might also get hot at the same time, and that appears to be the case for Texas Tech right now. While the law of averages would suggest that Tech will cool off a bit, hopefully, we will not see another collective slump like we saw just a month ago. Next, increased bench scoring. Page 3. Use your arrows to browse. Photo by Michael Reeves, Getty Images. One of the biggest X factors for this year's Texas Tech basketball team has been the production from the 3 primary bench pieces: Brandon Francis, Deshaun Corprew and Kyler Edwards. Fortunately, those 3 players have been giving the Raiders a boost in the last 3 games. That trio is averaging 17.6 ppg. on the season, but during the current streak, they are putting up a combined 22.6. That is 6.3 more than that trio provided during January's losing streak. The key has been the play of Francis. He has averaged 10 points per game in the last 2 weeks, including 16 against West Virginia and 11 against Oklahoma. Corpru's 7.6 ppg in his last 3 outings is much better than the 2.1 he was averaging in 9 Big 12 games prior to this streak. And in January's losing streak, he scored just 4 total points, though he did miss the Iowa State game with an injury. His 3 most productive games in conference play have been his last 3, including his lone double-digit Big 12 game thus far, 10 points against West Virginia. This year, Culver, Moretti and Mooney have certainly established themselves as the main offensive weapons for this team. But if the Red Raiders are going to make a significant run in the Big 12 or in the Big Dance, they will need their bench players to continue to be the kind of offensive threats they have been in the last 3 games. Next, the schedule has been favorable. Use your arrows to browse.